In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to work with negative powers of 10. The way I like to approach this is for us to go ahead and review the power of a number first. Then I'm going to show you the technique that I like to use, and it's very reliable. And then I'm going to use that technique to show you some examples that we can work through together. So now we'll start with the power of a number. So the power of a number indicates how many times a number is multiplied by itself. So that's what we're trying to pay attention to. So if I say, for example, 3 to the power of 3, you can see that we have 3 and the multiplication. We have 3 instances of 3 in the multiplication here. And then 9 to the power of 6, you can see here that we have 6 instances of 9 in our multiplication. So this is what we want to do with power. Now let's go ahead and look at the negative powers of 10 technique. So for the negative powers of 10, the first thing you want to do is you want to write 0 and then you put a period there, and that's your decimal. And you want to take note of the power of 10. So we're going to ignore the negative sign. And we're going to add the number of zeros to the right of the decimal point that is 1 less than the number. And then we'll end with 1. The number of digits after the decimal point must match the number in the power of 10. So another way you can look at this is, we're going to write a 0 point, and then we just put a 1 somewhere. So this one here accounts for, we're going to make sure we can count the number of digits after the decimal point must be the same as the number in the exponents, ignoring the negative sign. So I'm going to show you how to apply this technique to several examples. So 10 to the power of negative 1. So what we're saying here is I'm going to start by writing 0 point, and then I'm going to put a 1 here. So you can see here that after the decimal, I have just 1 digit. So I don't need to add, I don't need to do anything else here, because there's 1 digit here. It matches the number in the exponent, ignoring the negative sign. Okay, that's an easy example. Let's go ahead and look at some more difficult examples, or I'll say more examples that allow you to apply the technique. So 10 to the power of negative 4. So I'm going to put a 0 point, and I'm going to put a 1 here. And now you can see here that I'm looking for 4 spots after the decimal point. And so I have 1, so I'm just going to replace it with 3 zeros. So that's what the technique is. So you can, let me go over it again. What I've done here is I first write a 1, and then I replace I need to make sure that the number of digits after the decimal matches the number in the exponent, ignoring the negative sign. Here we have a 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill up every space with a 0 until we can have 4 as the number of digits after the decimal. Let's look at another example. So now we have 0.000001 to the power of 10. Here it's a little bit easier because we're going to write 10. Let's look at how many digits after the decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to be negative 6. Okay, so that's what we have for this example. And then our final example here, 0.001. So what we're going to do is I'm going to write 10. Then we're going to count how many digits after the decimal. We have 1, 2, 3. So we're just going to put a negative and a 3.